Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for our third and final playoff stats special. We've looked in isolation at the semi-final first legs and second legs, and we're going to look at those glorious occasions, those playoff finals. We are talking about second tier playoff finals in the current format, i.e. third v sixth, fourth v fifth in a two-legged semi, and a single one-off final at a neutral venue. There've been three: Old Wembley, New Wembley, Millennium Stadium. So we're going back to 1990. I am aware that there were playoff games for just a few years before that, but I never include them in my stats because the format was different and it messes everything up, quite frankly. Now, it's a special day for Brentford and Swansea. Obviously, could be the biggest day in their histories, really, particularly in Brentford's terms. But they also join the two-timers because Swansea have been in the finals once before. Brentford have been in the final last year. And they join the other two-timers: Blackpool, Fulham, Hull, Norwich, Preston, Sunderland, Swindon and Villa, who have all appeared in two second-tier playoff finals. There are three-timers as well. We're talking Bolton, Reading, Sheffield United, Watford and West Ham. But our most common teams in the final, Derby, Leicester and Palace, have all managed to get to a second-tier playoff final 4 times. Derby and Palace, a pretty reasonable spread. Leicester, incredibly, 4 finals in 5 years in the wild 1990s. And the wild 1990s are going to become a bit of a theme of this video, let's just say. Most wins, that is our friends in South London, Crystal Palace. 3 victories: 97, 04, 2013. I can probably remember the scorers. 97 would be David Hopkin, 04 Neil Shipley, and 13 our friend Kevin Phillips, who's spoken about that goal on the channel. Yes, I am aware Palace did win in the playoffs in 1989 under the old format. They beat Blackburn in a two-legged final. Now, goals. Let's go back to the wild 90s. In playoff finals, there have been 2.74 goals per game on average, but look, massively bumped up by 3.7 in the 90s, and then things calmed down to under 2.5 goals really on average for the past 2 decades. 3 obviously last season, but some sense that things calmed themselves down and people got a bit more savvy as they kind of knew what the playoffs meant and the games became a bit more cagey. Yes, I haven't included last year's. We've only got 1 sample size. For the Roaring 20s, there were 3 goals in that final last season, of course. The most common score, as you can imagine, tournament football, 1-0. The playoff final has ended 1-0 on no fewer than 12 occasions in those 31 finals. A 38.7% historical likelihood that the playoff final will end by 1-0. It's often a tight one. We do get some high scoring games, and again, look at the wild 90s. 3 of the 5 there, the top 5, all occurring in the 90s. But in 2011 it was Reading 2, Swansea 4, the Swans' other appearance. They're going to make it 2 tomorrow. Barnsley 2, Ipswich 4 in 2000 was a 6-goal thriller. And then Bolton and Reading 4-3 to Bolton. Reading famously the only team to finish second and not be promoted. Wrong place, wrong time for the Royals. Swindon 4, Leicester 3. Glenn Hoddle playing for Swindon and scoring in that great final in 93. One of the 5 Leicester finals, the 4 Leicester finals in 5 years. Got that the wrong way around. But 8 goals in Charlton 4, Sunderland 4 in 1998. Perhaps the greatest second tier playoff final of all time. It certainly had the most goals. Our lowest scoring game in 2017, Huddersfield, famously or infamously, got their way up to the Premier League via 2 penalty shootouts, and the only goal they got in the 3 games was an own goal as well. There are many ways to skin a cat, and Huddersfield got there, but that is our lowest scoring playoff final. Huddersfield 0, Reading 0, and watchers, because we'll be doing the watch along, will be pleased to hear once in 31 years has it been 0-0. Obviously, extra time and penalties mean that a draw can only end up in a penalty shootout. And let's find out how many times that has happened. So, the game has only been level at full time 7 times to take us to extra time. I say only, 22%, so over a 1 in 5 chance. And of those 7 times, it's been level at 120 minutes 3 times. I'm sure Leicester and Palace fans will remind us that it was level at 120 minutes before Steve Claridge scored the latest goal in playoff history. So 12.9% of the games are drawn and go to penalties after extra time. Your extra time to penalties ratio, though, is if you do go to extra time, you've got a 42% chance of going to penalties. We've already mentioned a couple of those games. Charlton beating Sunderland in the amazing 4-4 in 98 on pens. Huddersfield in the less exciting 0-0 in 2017. And it was Birmingham beating Norwich at the Millennium Stadium on penalties in 2002. So, in terms of getting there, we've kind of done this in the semi-final second leg stats, haven't we? But, and we can include 2021 numbers here and go up to 32 games, or 32 finals, because we know this stat before the game has happened. Third place has got there 20 times, and 6th place 12 times. So, again, I know I labour this point, but the idea of the playoffs being a lottery, if they are, explain to me why the higher team in the league has nearly won double the amount of semi-finals against the lower team there in the 3rd versus 6th. A 62.5% statistical historical chance that 3rd place appears in the playoff final. In 4th v 5th, tighter, as you'd expect. There's nothing between the 2 teams there in the table as opposed to the 2 places in between 3rd and 6th. But still, and Swansea have helped us out with this statistic, 53.1% versus 46.9%, which does again tell us, boringly, over the long haul, the playoffs do reflect the league table in terms of who reaches the final. Most common ties, of course, we can have 3rd v 4th and 3rd v 5th. We can't have 3rd v 6th or 4th v 5th ever in the final, because that's the semi-final. So the most common final, again, goes with the league tables. 3rd versus 4th. And we've got that for the 11th time this season. A 34.4% statistical historical chance that the 2 highest teams in the league table make the playoff final. 3rd versus 5th has happened 9 times. That's 28.1%. We've had 4th versus 6th just 6 times. That's 1 favourite and 1 outsider. And the incredible outsiders finals have happened 6 times. 5th versus 6th, where both of the outsiders reach the final, has happened 18.8% of the time on 6 occasions. Winners versus appearances. So, 3rd place has a 50% win percentage and the most wins in playoff histories. Go figure, they've had the most final appearances, and statistically, according to the qualification process, which is a 46-game season, the best team has appeared the most times and won the most times. You will see they don't actually have the highest win percentage in the finals. 4th place has the worst win percentage. They've won it 7 times, which is not the fewest, but that's off 17 appearances. We do know they often come up against 3rd place in the final, though, don't they? So 7 wins in 17 appearances for 4th place when they reach the final. Look out for that one, Swansea fans, 41%. And look there, 5th place, when they do get to the final and beat 4th place out, have the highest win percentage, 9 in 15 finals, a 60% win percentage there for 5th position. They're not in the final this season, so it doesn't matter. 6th place, 5 wins in 12 appearances. So 6th place has the fewest wins of any position, but they have the fewest appearances in the final of any position, and they have a better win percentage than 4th place. Again, Swansea fans, I'm just giving you the historical number. 4th place has the worst win percentage when they reach the final. And it's good luck to both Swansea and Brentford. Tomorrow, history tells us over the long haul, 3rd place is the favourite. But hey, whilst I don't believe the playoffs are a lottery and decided by some kind of random luck factor, I do accept that they are unpredictable and can, of course, go either way. Swans fans will hope that that's the case, and Brentford fans will hope it's nice and boring and the highest ranked team gets the win. Let me know what you think of any of those stats, anything particularly illuminating. It's not the wild 90s anymore, so the numbers tell us a tight final with Brentford, as you'd imagine, the favourites. Thank you for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.